Hello and welcome everyone. This is Amrita Bhortake and today we are going to do a still life shoot. I wanted to do a video for all of you to show you my exact process behind the scenes, bring you here in the studio and show you exactly how I shoot a moody still life photo, how I choose my subjects, how I choose different elements in the photograph, and just have a fun time shooting. In today's still life photo, we are going to be using, obviously, my favorite, flowers. One of my first tips, because I'm actually using all the flowers I've grown in my garden. I'm super excited about that. So I'm actually using a vase filled with water, maybe about up to here. It can be room temperature water, doesn't have to be super cold or hot, just room temperature. And every stem that I cut, I'm going to directly place in the vase so that the flowers stay fresh longer and I can enjoy the arrangement for a longer time. Once I cut flowers, I use them for a longer time for any of my arrangements. I do my arrangements over the course of a few days and I want to make sure they last as long as possible. So that is another reason why you want to use a container filled with water as you cut the flowers. The other suggestion I have is to start a little bit early in the day. Today I haven't been able to start super early, but normally if I am cutting flowers from my own garden, I like to do it before 8 a.m., especially before the harsh sun starts hitting. And mostly we get the most beautiful flowers in spring and summer. Spring at least it's all right, but summer heat can be pretty bad and the flowers can wilt really quickly by the time you bring them inside. Let's go outside and cut some flowers. Did you see the flowers by themselves? They look so beautiful. Look at that. Oh, I can't wait to create something with them. But I need some more fillers in the still life. So let's go get those. I don't want to take out too many of these because these are flowers out of our succulents and the hummingbirds absolutely love them. They're so pretty too. Look at the texture in them, but they are always hovering over them in the evening. So I don't want to take too many of them off, but just a few so I can use them in the arrangement. All right, let's go. Did you see this? It looks so beautiful just as it is. I love it. They're so pretty. But what I want to do is so that they all have a little room to breathe is take these and put them in a separate jar. I feel like it's going to be too crowded in that one because I haven't removed any of the leaves from the other roses. And that will give me enough room to look at the roses and work with them. Let's get started. I have tingling in my fingers. I want to quickly show you the setup for today's video, the way I have set up behind the scenes and the rest of my cameras. So here I'm using my phone as one of the angles. This camera is going to be shooting into the arrangement, and the third camera, which is going to be my Nikon D810, is going to be shooting the images. I always shoot in full frame with my Nikon D800, and this one that I'm using is my Sony A6400. It will be shooting the rest of the video, but my actual photographs are going to be shot on the Nikon D810. I have set up my table right next to the window, but as you can see, it's a little later than I wanted to start, so the light has started to come in. So you just saw that the direct sunlight has actually started to come in, and I want to show you what I do to get that beautiful softbox-like light, which will be even light for the images. If you want to create images with direct sunlight to create harsh shadows, and that's the look that you're going for, then you want to keep this light as it is. But I want to create those beautiful rolling off shadows on the image, and for that I want an even soft light on the image. I'll show you how to get that. So the last piece is that I'm going to arrange my table here, and I'm going to show you how it will be started. I took a quick break and got some iced London fog tea, and now we're ready to go. As you can see behind me, I have set up one of my blackboards underneath and one on the side perpendicular to it, and now I'm gonna get started. Here is some of the water that I'm going to use for the droplets. I have a dropper. Sometimes if I'm not using a vase, the base isn't as strong and it tips over because it gets too top heavy. I usually use gaffer tape to stick the flower pen down. Just taking a small piece of gaffer tape. Voila! What I've been trying to do is I want this beautiful curvature. I don't know if you can see it. See this curve? I want it right in the middle of those two roses, like that. But it just wouldn't stay. So I got one of my reflectors out because I wanted the flag. Normally, I have a set of foam core boards that I will use to reflect and cut out light and use as a flag. But when I moved, they just got rumpled and I threw them away. So I had to get new ones, but because of the pandemic, I haven't been able to go out and get some. So today I'm just using one of my reflectors and hope that works. Otherwise, I will have to be more creative and see what I would need. But usually that's what I would use. And I would highly recommend foam core boards. They're super cheap and really a good way to manipulate the light in your shot. Reflectors work great too, but in terms of still life photography, I don't end up using the reflectors as much because I feel like it doesn't give me that much flexibility. Foam core boards I can fold and I can just reflect certain parts in the image. I can shine light on, or I can remove light on just certain parts, and it gives me a lot more flexibility compared to this. But today, this is all we got, so this is all we're using. You can see that the reflector that I used here is just flopping down, and one of the tricks I have for that is to use these clamps By the way, if you don't have them, you should definitely get these. I've actually included them in one of my videos. I'll put a link up here. These are so cheap and so helpful. I've had these for years now, and look at them. They look great, and these are super strong and functional. So I'm gonna use these and show you how I can kind of get it to stay where I want. Success! Now I want to start taking the images, but I'm going to turn this light off because I want it to be natural light. So let's do that. Sorry, it's gonna be a little dark. I love how it looks, but now I want to put in the finer details, and I'm gonna start with putting a few drops of water to show that it is just dew. The scene that I had in mind is the garden scene. I wanted to recreate something the way I had seen them grow outside on the rose plant itself, and wanted to kind of bring the wildness of the garden inside, but I also wanted to have that morning mist kind of feel to it. So I want to just create a few dewdrops on it, which will sparkle when they hit the first ray of sunlight. I'm using some water here and dropper. You can also use glycerine, just a tiny bit of glycerine in the water and it won't fall off. Today I'm just going to use water. Oh my goodness, I am loving the photos that are coming out. I don't know how much you can see. Look at that. That is straight out of camera. I love how it looks. I'm gonna take a couple more shots. I wanna take one of the landscape shots, so I have it just in case. But the way I had thought about the image was in a portrait shot, so that was going to be my main focus. I really loved how it is coming out together. I am super warm. I need to turn my air conditioning on. And I think I'm done with the images because I love how they look. Look at that. So that's it for today. This is the final image that looks like. I will go through my post-processing workflow in another tutorial so I can break it down and this doesn't become a super long tutorial. This was my process for shooting still life images that are dark and moody. If you have any questions about it, comment below, let me know, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions. This is how my setup looks like. Parts of it keep changing, but mostly this is how my setup is. This is one of my favorite ones for dark and moody. It gives me the kind of feel of a Dutch still life painting, which I absolutely adore, the Dutch masters. And I love how beautiful they have painted still lifes. They are a huge inspiration to me in my work. And I feel like these are the images that always give me joy and happiness and inspire me to create something fun. I hope you had fun with this video and learned something. Let me know if you have any other questions about still life photography. I would love to answer them. Don't forget to like the video if you found this video useful. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell to be notified for all of my future videos. Thank you so much everyone for joining me today, and have an amazing, amazing day. Bye-bye. Normally I use, I have a set of foam core boards.